Welcome to the Cardano Sense DC Fund show, where we look at least three projects a show and evaluate them for the Cardano Fund that they're applying to get money from. My name is Anthony. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe. This show is brought to you by my website here. This is the CardanoFund.com website. We're in voting for Fund 3 now, so this is a good place to come over and go down to Fund 3 and look through the funds. All the projects for Fund 3 are here. Just click on a fund, and if you'd like to see their original idea scale link, which is going to be the same as this, just organized differently, just go ahead and click on the idea scale, and it will come up. It's also brought to you by the Sophie Stake Pool. This is my stake pool. We're a small stake pool, a little over 500,000. We've made 89 blocks so far, so we've made a couple blocks here and there. But we are a small pool, so we're looking for more people. And the best way to support this show would be to delegate to the stake pool for sure, and to help both of us. Okay, so let's get on to it. Let's get on to what I call the state of the fund. Here, let me turn off these beeping noises. Okay, so what we're going to do today, we're going to go through, these are the active campaigns. We're going through developer ecosystem. So the question we're asking here is, how can we create a positive developer experience that helps the developer focus? Wait, let me start over. How can we create a positive developer experience that helps the developer focus on building successful apps? So we're trying to bring developers into the ecosystem to create apps for Cardano. We're going to look at three projects today. So let us move on to the first project. Here, let me let you guys see this real quick. Okay, let's take a look at this project. The problem statement. First of all, it's called Agile Catalyst Development Teams. Problem statement. People want to contribute but don't know where to start. Most proposals or projects require too much commitment for people to join. Okay, that's been kind of an ongoing issue. People really don't know where to start. It's such a large ecosystem, and it's just getting bigger by the day. So this is definitely an issue. So let's read on to see what their solution is. For an example, let's see. From solution, describe your solution to the problem. Form an example team delivering dev support artifacts on a 6-week cycle, while functioning as a template to form similar self-organizing teams. Okay, so I'm assuming they're saying a 6-week cycle because that's kind of the life cycle of a proposal that's broken down into 6 different weeks. Experience, academic, data structures, cryptography. Professional, facilitating agile processes in various projects, PO, backend dev, architecture. Okay, so I always like for people to, when they say they can do something, to kind of show it. So there's a couple links here. So there's one link. So what they did here, they linked to one of these boards. It's kind of like I'm going to call it an agile board. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but you can, it's a board where you get a lot of people access to it, and they can come and add things to this board. And then after you do this, you would you'd probably then have a meeting about it. Now we have another proposer that wants to do something like this, but it's a little more in depth. It's kind of doing a whole onboarding process. I think this is a good idea. I think we absolutely need this because a lot of people have tried to do it, including myself. I made a little handbook for proposers to follow. But there's so much information and things change so quickly that we definitely need this. This is a really good job. The only issue I kind of have with this is we're one day away from these proposals being locked down, meaning you can't change them, right? Once they're locked down, you can't change them. This is a week for people to change them, and they didn't put how much money they want in here. So if they don't come and edit this by tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, less than 24 hours, this is just going to be archived, because if there's not an amount of money they're asking for, there's no reason for it to be in the list of proposals to vote on, because you can't vote on it. They're not asking for anything. So I like this idea, but it needs a little more to fix it up a bit. To me, it seems like whoever built this just kind of abandoned it because there's, like I said, no money or anything. So, but this is a problem we need help with. So hopefully, this proposer, who is it? Sophie H will come fix this up, or perhaps they'll extend it to Fund 5. So, okay. Let us move on to the next project we're going to look at today. This next project is called, drum roll. Whoops, I lost it. You can see it. Now I can't see it. Let's get it back. There we go. Okay, this next project is called Live Coding Mentor Marketplace. Problem statement. Coding roadblocks inhibit or slow down blockchain project completion and learning. Docs can be daunting and unhelpful compared to live help. You know, this is absolutely true, especially if you're a new programmer. Documentation, it's like reading Greek sometimes, or if you know Greek, some language you don't know, when you're first starting out. So you really need help when you're first starting out as a coder, and just to tell a new coder to go look at the docs, you know, depending on the docs, that like I said, it's like reading a different language. Okay, let's look at the solution to the problem. A marketplace for students and founders to find mentors and/or pro coders to help them through issues, tasks, and train in live coding sessions. Okay, so I read through this. Obviously, I read through these before I go on the air here. So I read through this, and essentially what they want to create here is a VS Code extension that helps match coders and mentors, right? VS Code, real quickly, is a coding environment. It's an IDE, it's called, right? So this is where coders would go to code, depending, and it doesn't really matter what language you're coding in. VS Code is kind of a catch-all for any type of language you want to code in, and that's, you know, they have different add-ons and different extensions to help you. So what this project wants to do is add an extension right into VS Code, which I think is a good idea, because you're putting yourself right into where people are coding. VS Code already has an extension where you can partner code or buddy code, which means I can be coding here and someone else can be coding somewhere else around the world, and we could be coding together. And, you know, I could write code, they could see what I'm writing, I could see what they're writing, and we could run the code and everything. This is kind of, from my read, an extension of that, plus a marketplace, so that there's mentors and people who want mentors, and it kind of hooks them up together. This is a really good proposal. I got to say, I read through this. It's done really well. They talk about the market. They talk about their target customers, what they're going to do, future features, and what's really important, and most people don't do, is they go into their competition and comparables. I think a lot of people are afraid if they put this in a proposal that we're going to look at this and be like, oh, well, yep, you're right. There's something already there. You can't use this. That's not the case. This shows that you're looking, you're not going into this blind. You're looking at your competition, and you know you have competition, and you want to do something better or different. Listing this shows that you've actually thought about it, and you know, and it's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a really good thing, actually, to put this kind of stuff in there. And then they have a really good budget. Look, they have they're asking for $13,000, and they break the budget completely down. And I think this is for like a 6-week period or 6-month period here. Up to 6 months. This is completely doable. $13,000 is not that much money, and here's a roadmap. This is a really, really good proposal. And they have their LinkedIn here, which kind of shows what they can do, kind of gives them a little background. The only thing in this proposal that's kind of a little bit they have to fix, hopefully they do this before tomorrow, is their GitHub link goes to nowhere. I'm sure this is probably a typo, because you can kind of tell by the proposal and the other links they have here that they know what they're doing. I don't think that was a kind of like a fake GitHub link or anything. Anyway, I don't want to run on too long here, but one more thing I do want to say, and I said this yesterday in one of my videos. When you have teams that take the time to do a good proposal, they break down their budget, they break down the roadmap, almost to a proposal, they always come in with a fair estimate. This is $13,000. I could think that may even be kind of low. You know, the proposals that don't do a budget, don't do a roadmap, they just have an idea, and then you look down, you see how much money they want, and they want $120,000, and you're like, what the hell do you want $120,000 for? You know, but really, to a proposal, the ones that take their time, figure everything out, they always come in with a reasonable number, always. And it's an interesting occurrence that I've noticed. So anyway, I think this is a really good proposal. I think you all should take a look at this proposal and consider this proposal as one to vote for. Okay, let us move on to the last proposal of the day. Okay, this next proposal is called Experimental Educational Videos. Problem: distributed ledger technology and the perceived benefits are not really understood by the generic public, developers, or entrepreneurs. Solution: generate videos and other learning materials through direct mentorship and curious individuals. A relevant experience. Self-taught programmer, 4 years agile software development, pair programming, mentoring developers without prior work experience. Okay, I read through this. Essentially, what this person wants to do is help people, right? This is someone who wants to help people. He was a self-taught programmer, and he wants to help people, right? You look down here, he has 4 students. Ken, front-end developer from Kenya, Chrissy, Cyan from Bangladesh. This guy, and he has a video, 25-minute video, kind of about himself and talking. This guy just wants to help people. And I think that's great. I don't want to knock that, and I don't want my hesitation to seem like I think this is a good idea. But I think he needs to he needs to go through this and be a little bit more specific about exactly kind of what he wants to do here. It sounds like he kind of wants to be a tutor, which I think is great. He's only asking for $6,000, which is very doable, you know. The only thing that kind of hit me when I looked through this was, does this belong in the developer ecosystem section? Because the developer ecosystem is, how can we create a positive developer experience that helps the developer focus on building successful apps? I just, unless I'm reading this wrong, developer ecosystem, because we've had this for a couple different funds now, developer ecosystem and the dApps, bringing in decentralized applications in. We've had these 2 categories for a couple funds now. And the developer ecosystem is, you want to bring developers in, right? Like kind of current developers is kind of my read on this. And what is his name? I don't want to. What Timothy wants to do here is he wants to teach. He wants to bring people in, obviously from countries like Bangladesh and Kenya, and he wants to help these people. I mean, if you go look at his YouTube channel here, Meeting the Mages, I may have saying that right, probably not. And he has like an hour-long video talking about when did you last cry because of how beautiful your own existence is, and he's had these conversations with people, these kind of really deep conversations. That's not the one I'm looking for. You know, you can tell he's a real compassionate person and just wants to help people. And that's really what I get from this. And I think this is great. I think he could kind of mold this into something that's a little more, you know, has roadmaps and specific steps and exactly what you're going to use the money for. And I think he should be funded. Like I said, I just don't know if developer ecosystem is fun for him. So anyway, yeah, read through this, watch this video. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. It's 25 minutes long. Another thing, if you're going to put a video in a proposal like this, you want people to watch it, you probably want to do something that's more concise and maybe give a link to a video that's a little longer and delves more into if they want to kind of go on and watch extra stuff. But for a proposal, you want something that's a little more quick and kind of concise. But yeah, I really like this guy. You know what I mean? I like what he's trying to do. Like I said, it's just, I don't know if this is the right fund for him. But like I said, I like the idea. So I think everyone should go take a look at it and watch some of his videos. Okay, let's move on to community chatter. What are they talking about in the community today? Well, the community advisors are talking about, community advisors have to go in And next week, we're going to go in and look at all these proposals, and we're going to kind of do a deep dive into them. We rank them, but when we rank them, we also write information about why we're ranking, that kind of thing. So for most of these campaigns, you can use the same kind of ranking system. But there's one campaign in here which is a challenge. Is it challenge setting? Community choice. Which you can't use the same specifics. So we're trying to figure out what criteria to use for this community choice campaign, because last fund, it was kind of a mess. We didn't know exactly how to grade that. We tried to grade it using the regular metrics, and it just didn't work. So that's kind of what people are talking about now, at least in the community advisor part of this whole big project. So another thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and I'm going to go backwards here because I don't have it on this video. But under here, if you look, Charles Hoskinson is giving one of the keynote speeches at the Blockchain Africa conference. That's coming up on Thursday. This is being talked about by a lot of YouTubers, like, oh, this is the big thing. He's giving the keynote, and he's going to say that we're, taking over Africa, or you know what I mean. But what some of these YouTubers fail to tell you is that he is not the only blockchain professional at giving a keynote speech or speeches at this conference. There's at least 6 to 12 other people. So I do think it's a big deal that he's giving this speech. He has a very good spot. He's one of the first ones on Thursdays. If you want to watch it Thursday morning, I think it's around 11 o'clock. Put it on and watch it. But I mean, I hope he says something that we're all waiting for him to say, that we've got big contracts and we're helping out Africa and Kenya and all these countries. But I would just just don't be surprised if that's not what happens. Don't get your hopes up too much. Let's wait and just kind of see what he has to say. And hopefully he does say something great. We'll see. I don't know. Okay, anyway, that's it for today. Everyone have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.